These hoes ain't loyal. And these clients ain't either.
The tea is exceptionally good today. Very delicious.
Hey, it's Miss J. Gray, and this is Q&A Wednesday, where you ask me your question and I give you my raw, unfiltered answer. Most of y'all are gonna love this, but some of y'all gonna hate it, and that's because the truth hurts, but I guarantee you'll learn from it. It's not gonna always be cute and it probably won't be classy, but you are going to grow. You can ask me anything from love, life, health, finance, but especially business and entrepreneurship. I got this idea from my good girlfriend and digital mentor, Marie Forleo. She has been instrumental in my growth as an entrepreneur for years, and she inspired this series. This week's question comes from Miss Kelsey James from Austin, Texas. Kelsey says, "Hey Jay, I love that you have finally come from behind the scenes and are sharing more. Your journey is inspiring." Thank you, girl. I'm a celebrity hairstylist and I'm tired of helping my clients look beautiful for their special days just for them to walk away as soon as they make it big. I give them deals, always show up even when they're late, and I always slay. I go above and beyond. But it's like they discard me when they grow and get big opportunities. They always say how good I do their hair and how they're glad they found me, but I'm at my breaking point and I really want to give up, but this is my dream job. What am I doing wrong? Please help me. And so Kelsey, when I think about your question, it immediately makes me think about the 4 agreements. There's one specific agreement that really hits home to me because this is something that I was highly challenged with as an entrepreneur and still sometimes today, where I look at my team and I look at my clients, and when they do certain things, I often look at myself and say, what did I do that caused them to do that? When you start going down that path, you start to blame yourself for decisions that other people make. And that's crazy, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's crazy because everyone has their own perspective. Everyone has their own definition, whether they've defined it for themselves or they've allowed society to define things for them. But because of that perspective and those definitions, they have created this dream world in their head that they live in, and they operate based off of that dream world. And what we do as people is we insert ourselves and make ourselves that much more important to these people. We say, hey, I'm so important that you're gonna make every life decision based off of me. And that's ridiculous because when we do that, we become the blame. And so when clients walk away, depending on if they were satisfied, if they were unsatisfied, if they got a better price, or they just thought that working with a different stylist was gonna help their career, it's not about you. Their decision has nothing to do with you. What you really don't want to do is start to make your personal life decisions based off of them. This is your dream job, right? But you're willing to walk away from your life's dream because of what someone else has done? Sounds crazy when we lay it out that way, right? So again, the first thing I want you to think about is removing yourself from the decisions of others and stop taking things personal. As you avoid taking anything personally, you won't need to put your trust in what others do or say. You'll only need to trust yourself to make responsible choices. You're not responsible for the actions of anyone else. You're only responsible for you. So we've all seen the meme with the little girl on Instagram where she has a cute little teddy bear and the imagery of Jesus is going to take the bear away. But what the little girl doesn't know is that Jesus has a bigger teddy bear behind him. And a lot of us, when we look at that, we think about trust. But for me, when I look at that, I think about perspective. Am I really losing or am I making space for more? And I want you to think about, again, that perspective when it comes to clients. When you're talking about them leaving you, are they leaving you or are they creating space for the growth of your business, for the growth of your journey? I'm sure you have goals and aspirations that you've laid out. And sometimes when we have particular clients working with them, they're blocking what we really should be going toward or what is trying to come toward us. And along with perspective, I want you to remember that nothing lasts forever. And I know that phrase has a negative connotation because we often think about an end, a hard stop. But when I think about the end, my perspective is a little bit different than others because my perspective on nothing lasts forever is an evolution, something more or something new or something grand. It's kind of like when we think about a friendship ending, we often think that person is no longer going to be our friend. But if you've had a friend for 15, 20 years, that friendship has evolved and has changed as you both have grown together and apart. I want you to think about this same thing when you are talking about clients leaving. Clients, just like many of other things in our lives, are seasonal. They come in to teach us something, to help us with something, to sort something out. And the harder and tighter you try to hold on to it, the more they seep through, but it doesn't allow other things to come in. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, it allows us to be more present. It allows us to be in the moment and enjoy every single experience. So many times I personally have been out with friends or out to lunch with my family, and I wasn't mentally present. I was physically there, but my brain was focused on trying to solve problems from earlier that day, or even trying to figure out what my schedule is gonna look like tomorrow. I missed the opportunity of being present with my friends and with my family, and sometimes with myself. Those experiences will never come back because, like I said, nothing lasts forever. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, it helps us not create these unhealthy attachments to things and people. This client is not yours. This client doesn't belong to you, and this client has no obligation to stay with you. From the moment that they became your client, there was only a period of time until they no longer were, because it doesn't last forever. And the focus shouldn't be on why are they leaving me? The focus should be on, did I enjoy this experience to the fullest? Did I get the most out of this relationship? Did my time with this client help me grow? Did I reach a goal that I was aspiring to while working with this client? If we switch our mindset and switch our paradigm to be focused on our goal and our experience, we won't be attached to people or things or situations, and we won't be so hurt when they end, or, switching our perspective, evolve. Expectation and loyalty. I'm laughing so hard because we really got the game messed up. We expect loyalty. These hoes ain't loyal. And these clients ain't either. First of all, let's start with expectation. We have an expectation of someone. Has that expectation been vocalized? Has that expectation been defined? And has your definition been explained to the receiving party who you have the expectation of? When you have an expectation, you typically set yourself up for failure. And the reason being, not just because you expect someone to do something, but because when you expect someone to do something, you expect it in a certain way. You expect it the way that you envision it, which is the way you would have done it. But this is a completely different human being. So when we think about the expectation of loyalty, what's our definition of loyalty? Does that mirror their definition of loyalty? What are the ramifications when someone can break that loyalty? And you probably haven't defined those things, and the person that you're expecting to be loyal to you hasn't defined those either. And how do we expect someone to be loyal when they can't even be loyal to themselves? How many times has your friends, family, or people that you know said they are going to lose 15 pounds this year? That's their goal, that's their promise, that's their revolution. They deserve it. And the year comes, and they gain 15 pounds instead of losing it. No loyalty. How many times have they said they're gonna stop drinking, they're gonna stop partying, they're gonna start going to bed at 10 o'clock and stop watching reality TV? I'm not saying that, but they are. That's a promise that they're making to themselves. They can't keep that promise. They're not being loyal to themselves, but yet you expect them to be loyal to you. We go back to this world that people are living in. They have a lot of things going on in this head, and being a loyal client to you is probably not one of them. And if we look at the actual definition of loyalty, it's a general term that signifies a person's devotion or sentiment of attachment to a particular object or person. So essentially, we're asking someone to develop an unhealthy attachment to us. This unhealthy attachment will cause them anxiety, depression, stress, a lack of self-worth and value, and really deplete their self-confidence. So we're asking someone to do something for us that essentially may hurt or harm them. That doesn't really make too much sense. So in all actuality, that's really just us trying to control them and the situation. I also want to point out that when we have this expectation of loyalty and we see this control, which is truly a manifestation of our fear, we have attached our worth and our value to this client. Having this A-lister client means what about me as a celebrity hairstylist? Having this person who always buys my art means what about me as an artist? Because these top brands want to work with me, that means what but about me as a content creator and influencer. This is attachment to an outward form, when all of our attachments should be inwardly to our true value and our true worth. The clients don't mean anything. How good you do hair does. How well you create content does. The clients don't validate you. Hell, sometimes we validate the client. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes from not taking things personally, eliminating the expectation of loyalty, and just accepting that nothing lasts forever. Because when you hold on really tight to those things that I mentioned, it essentially creates a false narrative in your head. And then the ego comes out to play in an effort to protect you. Insecurities and the need for outward validation jump into the mix. And essentially, you create a problem that doesn't really exist. Keep at your craft and focus on the one thing you can control, which is you. Shift your perspective from a loss and a lack mentality to a growth and abundance one. You didn't lose a client. You made space for more. And if we're being honest, when we first start out our business, we're doing a lot of things wrong. Our prices are too low, we haven't clearly communicated our services to the clients, and we're constantly feeling taken advantage of. So when you lose these clients, sometimes it's giving you the space and the opportunity to work on your growth strategy, to kind of restructure the infrastructure of the business so that when those new clients come, you're really prepared. I know this answer is gonna resonate with you, and it's gonna start to create that internal shift to get you to greater heights. But there's one more thing you need, and that's mental preparation. To make use of all the information I just shared with you, I want you to watch this video next to get mentally prepared for the success that's coming your way.